You know what Bobby was doing with the whiteout? Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue, where we really need to get Sue Ellen like a protective dog. My name is Mary.
And I'm Sarah.
I'm Josh.
I'm Melanie. And you know what? Let's get her a chihuahua because those things are vicious.
That's true. They're just like...
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. Sue Ellen chihuahua all the way.
What are we all? Are we all day drinking like JR in this episode?
Yep.
I am.
Drinking the whole time. Yes, it is spooky season. It's officially spooky season. So I am drinking...
Witch's Brew?
Witch's Brew.
Oh my God.
Mulled red wine.
I was just guessing.
There you go.
From... where is it from? Leelanau. Oh, I think it's from Leelanau Cellars in Traverse City, Michigan.
And your pumpkin should be coming out soon, right?
It should. I should go to the beer store. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about that today. I passed something in the store, but it wasn't that. But it reminded me of you.
And then we'll be back to the peppermint bark rum chata season.
Oh, yeah.
There's an imperial, like, I don't know if it's a milk stout or cold brew milk stout that I saw in the fridge at Potent Potables the other day, and I got to get it. Like Steve said, it was like your basic bitch, pumpkin, cold brew, whatever. But I wanted to try it. But that thing is like 9% ABV, and I was like, that is a one and done, baby.
Yeah, that's last year. The first time I'd had the pumpkin in a while, I was drinking with my friend, and I blame that I had just been sick a weekend before, and I was so fucked up.
Yeah, you're probably like, I didn't realize it was going to do that.
Was it the imperial one?
Yes. The Imperial Pumpkin. Yeah. Yep.
I
had a couple of those and then did whiskey shots later, and it was bad.
Jesus,
there we go. That took you,
girl. There it is.
That took you over the edge.
Yeah, it was bad.
Let's just pound it down.
What are you guys drinking?
I have just wine. I'm working on my Halloween costume. So
Ooh.
I know. So this is the first year in like 5 years. I'm going to be a flamingo.
A flamingo? That's
yeah,
cool.
but it is completely handmade, and I think I get too many Amazon packages. I haven't done one in like 5 years, like completely handmade. And Scott said, "There's another Amazon package." I was like, "Oh, it's just my feathers," and he goes, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, my pink and my white feathers are coming today." And he was like, "I don't even want to know." And I was like, "Okay." So then I finally showed him what I'm doing, but
There was an episode of Boston Legal where James Spader and William Shatner thought they were flamingos, so they actually wore flamingo outfits, and at the end they were sitting there smoking cigars on the balcony dressed as flamingos.
That's what I'm going to do on Halloween night. I'll have a cigar and be like...
Where's the scary part coming in?
It's not. I haven't been a scary costume in a while.
Okay.
Well,
I'm always a scary costume.
I like scary. I just haven't done it in a while.
I think I'm going to bring back the one I did 10 years ago because it's now the 110th anniversary. I think I'm going to be a Titanic victim.
Oh, I like that. Oh. I saw that on your Facebook, I think, a long time ago.
It's not too soon.
It's not, right. It's not, I mean, come on. It's 110 years, guys. I mean.
It's not too soon. No.
Yeah.
God, think about where you were 10 years ago.
Think about where you were 110 years ago. Oh, we weren't here. Never mind. We're drinking some bourbon.
Bourbon, Melanie?
Yeah. I've got one of my last cans of Lake James Rind Lager, and I made a Mexican ashtray out of it to go with my burrito bowl. And this is like a seasonal thing, so if I want another one, I'm going to have to switch back to like Modelo or something.
Oh.
I like Modelo.
It's okay, with spice on it.
All right, I'll give a quick shout out to our Patreon members, Brendan Fillick, Captain America, Sheen Pie, Laura Bernheim, Brad Mulholland, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carolano. They went to patreon.com and checked out our extra content, which is chapters of the book Dallas by Lee Raintree. A lot of the shit that we cut out of this because of reasons. And just like extra like questions that we sometimes answer and like extra stuff we talk about the show and also like sometimes our notes that we take while watching the episode to record this and a bunch of other things. So if you're interested in that, check us out on patreon.com/EwingBBQ.
And wasn't there video of the Charlene Tilton, Lee McCluskey.
Yes. The video recording of us doing the wedding episode for Mitch and Lucy with Lee McCluskey and Charlene Tilton is on there. So,
which was so much fun.
It was so fun.
And what's this little purchase you made?
Oh, yes. So Patrick Duffy and his lady friend Linda Pearl have started a company together, and it's called Duffy's Dough. And they're selling packages of I think it's a sourdough starter. And you can get, it's like a package. So it's like a sourdough starter with an apron and that says Duffy's Dough and a thing of recipes from Patrick Duffy's family and a bunch of other stuff. And I got in on the first 200. So I'm getting a signed apron by Patrick Duffy because I had to. Like, it was, I think, probably ridiculous, but I just did it. And so I'm excited for that to come.
And
I want to get it too.
Linked an article that talks about the backstory of Duffy's Dough, and
I have to check that out.
The starter kit actually is started with Patrick's mother way back in the day, and it is continued to this day. So
from 1952.
Yes, so
that's amazing. I want to make some Duffy Dough. My bread's going to be Patrick Duffy blessed. And I'm super excited about it. Because I love to make bread. This is a fun fact about me. I actually really love to make bread. I've never made sourdough bread, but I usually make this no-knead bread that's super easy to make, which if anybody's interested in the recipe for that, I can post it. Before the pandemic, I was making this bread. If fresh bread is so good.
If there's no need bread, why do you need to bake the bread if there's no need? Oh, no.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Also up on our page is an article that the Longhorn, which has been seen on Dallas, and which was the part of the festivities for the 40th anniversary.
Episode.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It has been saved, much like South Fork, and will be reopening. So we need to get down there.
I didn't even know that was.
I didn't know that until it was posted.
I'm so glad.
A shout out to another Dallas fan, Terry Cookland, who was an extra in a lot of the episodes in the new series, and he posted the article originally on his page.
Cool. Yeah, because that was a cool bar.
Oh, it was.
We were able to go to. Like, next time when we're in Dallas, we're going. We're going to hang out.
And pole dancing again.
That's when my pole dance was taking place. Mm-hmm. Hey, it wouldn't be there if we weren't just to get on it.
Yeah.
That's true. A couple of birthdays. Christopher Stone, who played Dave Stratton, was born in 1940. He would be 82. I think he passed on a time ago. And born on the same day, October 10th, 1958, so they'll be 64, Karen Copens, who played Kay Lloyd, and J. Eddie Peck, who played Tommy McKay, born on the same day of the same year. Much like our Sarah and Josh Harris, born on the same day of the same year.
Hey.
Not too much longer till my birthday.
Also, Karen Hopkins, who was Kay Lloyd, fun fact for spooky season, she is in the movie Once Bitten. It's Jim Carrey's first movie. Before he was quote unquote Jim Carrey. With Lauren Hutton. And I was obsessed with this movie when I was a kid.
I loved it.
And it has some parts that, like all 80s movies that are like questionable, but I still enjoy it. It has, and I will fight over this, the best dance-off scene of any movie. Better than Teen Witch. Better than Teen Witch.
What? No. Did you just say better than Teen Witch?
I did say better than Teen Witch.
Yeah, I want to watch that tonight.
Y'all, Tim Curry singing in The Worst Witch popped up on my Twitter timeline the other day, and I was like, my God, this is amazing.
Perfect.
So who's in the dance-off in that movie?
Jim Carrey and Lauren Hutton.
Oh, it's both of them.
Karen Hopkins. Yes, they're all having a dance-off.
Copens. Aopins. Copens.
Sure. Now, if you don't get it right, he's going to remind you every single time.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So it's those two in the dance, or those three, you said?
Those three, yes.
Oh.
I don't know why I don't remember. I guess it's been so long since I've seen the movie.
At a costume party at a high school.
Oh, fun.
So good. I'm telling you.
And it's Comic-Con type conventions going on. Omri Katz will be in Motor City Comic-Con October 14th in Detroit, Michigan.
I wish I would have known ahead of time.
With the Hocus Pocus people. He will be in Salem, Massachusetts the following weekend for several events.
That's where I want to go.
And
that's where I want to go.
Mitch Pileggi will be down at Rhode Island Comic-Con in the first weekend of November. That is Harris Ryland, obviously. So if you're in any of these areas, go.
Yeah, go.
Go.
Tell Omri how much you love Dallas so we can outdo the Hocus Pocus people.
Yes, and ask very nicely for him to talk about his new business venture, his marijuana business, which is getting off.
Does he like talking about it?
Yes, I had a nice long conversation with him about it in March in Connecticut. So, and maybe he'll be at 90s Comic-Con or 90s Con next March. I don't know because they haven't announced it.
Okay, that's what I'm going to ask. That's March, right?
That's March. So far, they have.
Where is that?
That's in Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah. The only people that have been announced are Danica McKellar from The Wonder Years, Dan Lauria, I think Olivia Dabo, and some people from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, the ones they announced, I was kind of like, that's kind of worth going just for those people.
Maybe, yeah. Wonder Years could get Fred Savage and men, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he will turn up.
I don't know. He's busy directing, though. My husband got to talk to him on a call once.
He's busy getting fired from directing, but we won't go into that.
What did he get fired from?
Inappropriate behavior on set towards women.
What?
No! Little munchkin likes to touchy-feely.
From the new Wonder Years. From the new Wonder Years, yes, he was banned from the set. He was fired.
Holy shit. Oh, that's so disappointing.
It is.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Well,
another one bites the dust. Anyway.
We should not live in denial about our people. Speaking of denial.
I know, we shouldn't.
Speaking of denial,
tonight we're talking about season 5, episode 14, episode 91 of the series, Denial.
Harv thinks that we should try and convince Mama to have Daddy declared legally dead.
Maybe this break you've been waiting for, Bob. Maybe Daddy left you the whole shooting match.
Got no wife, got no daddy, got no son. I got no home to go to.
We had a $3 million deal.
Forget it. Double lock your doors, call some attack dogs in, whatever you want to do, honey. But I guarantee you one thing, I'm going to get that boy back until I do. You're not going to know one moment's peace anywhere on God's green earth.
Denial.
It ain't just a river in Egypt.
It was written by Linda Elstad. This is really exciting. It was directed by Victor French from Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven.
I used to love Highway to Heaven.
And he was recommended by Steve Canale for directing.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it. And it aired January 15th, 1982, which is 4 days before my 6th birthday.
Oh, you were a little thing.
I was little Mary. Yeah.
Aw.
Okay, so also on January 15th, 1982, the #1 Billboard hit in the U.S. was Physical by Olivia Newton-John, which I think this is the last week. This week or next week is the last week because it just keeps going. Everyone loved that song.
I mean, I still like it, but I'm not going to, damn.
I feel like all those baby boomers were jazzercising to it, I think. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
The #1 film in America was, I'm just going to be like almost every single one of these I've never heard of ever. It's called Absence of Malice.
Oh, I've heard of that.
It was starring, oh, you have? Okay. Starring Paul Newman, Sally Field, and Walter Brimley. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
And
I love him.
I know, from Our House fame. And directed by Sidney Pollack.
Cocoon as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes. News stories this week, just to put us in the mindset of January 15th, 1982. Honduras adopts its constitution. Air Florida 737 took off in a snowstorm, crashes into the 14th Street Bridge in Washington, D.C., and falls into the Potomac River, killing 78 people.
Maybe they shouldn't have taken off in a storm. You think?
Yeah, seems like that was a bad idea. And this is, I only know about this because I watched The Crown. Mark Thatcher, son of UK's Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, makes his way home after 6 days missing in the Sahara.
Oh. I bet you he was very
if you watched
thirsty.
The Crown, that was a whole little story arc. I love The Crown. The new
Everybody
season is
tells me.
November.
What season was that? Because
Last season. Season 4.
I bet you he was very thirsty after he got home.
I thought I got through season 4. I don't know.
It's with what's her face from the X-Files who plays Margaret Thatcher.
Gillian Anderson. Yeah,
Gillian Anderson. Yeah,
she does a good British accent.
She was in 3
because
4, wasn't she?
She's in Sex Education
she lived
too.
in Britain.
That's
she
true,
lived in Britain. She lived between Britain and, fun fact, Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I'm living right now.
Okay.
Oh. Sorry.
See, even the dog agrees.
He's being an asshole.
And on Dallas.
This episode was number 1 in the weekly ratings. And we mentioned Victor French. Diane McBain, who played Sue Ellen's friend Dee Dee, played Daphne on Surfside 6. Lindsay Bloom, who plays Bonnie Robertson, was a former Miss Omaha, Miss Arizona, and Miss USA. Played Robert Urick's girlfriend on Vegas. Stacy Keach's secretary Velda on Mike Hammer. And Boss Hogg's niece on the Dukes of Hazzard. Them Duke boys gonna get themselves in a real pickle here.
I love Dukes of Hazzard.
So why I started watching Dallas is because I watched Dukes of Hazzard as a kid.
That's what me too. It was like solid. No. It was like
Roscoe B.
Dukes of Hazzard, Dallas, and then Solid Gold came on. I think I loved Solid Gold.
It was
That's
for me. It was
love of dancing.
Dukes of Hazzard, Dallas, and Falcon Crest.
Originally, it was the Incredible Hulk, the Dukes of Hazzard, and then Dallas. And then Falcon Crest came in, and then it kind of bumped up a little bit.
And we switched channels and watched Knight Rider.
The Incredible Hulk used to scare me.
It did me too, but we would flip over and watch Knight Rider.
I love Knight Rider. Yeah. I feel like we can safely say that Dukes of Hazzard was the gateway drug to Dallas.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
Oh.
I'll agree with that.
Speaking of drugs, JR is day drinking.
He's day drinking through this whole goddamn episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we open on Bobby's office at Ewing Oil. And JR is day drinking and totally ignoring all the buzzing by Sly.
Yes, because there's Mr. Hutton is out in the reception area. He supposedly has an appointment for a $3 million deal that was set up a month ago.
I guess so.
We also learned that this is 2 weeks following the events of Jock.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. And I feel like JR's not shaved. Like this, I feel like you can tell that it's just a hot mess JR TM because he has like stubble.
He's no longer a functioning alcoholic. He's gotten to the point where he's like tipped over the edge, and this whole episode he's like, how much have you had to drink, sir? Like, you cannot go all day without, like, how many fifths is he putting away?
So he's a dysfunctional
Drink some
alcoholic.
water, please.
He's a dysfunctional alcoholic.
He's stumbling through every scene. It's so funny.
How much of that would have been Larry method acting by pounding down the...
I don't know. I was wondering that as I was watching it. Like, oof, it's like a free pass.
I don't know. I feel like even a functional alcoholic as an actor would have to put some effort into that. Because he wouldn't be remembering his lines.
True.
You'd be surprised.
Unless.
Why do you think he improvised a fair amount and added things?
It just happened to be that he was funny and he had good like one-line singers. If he was a shitty actor, then they would have been like, "You're fucking drunk. Get off the set."
I mean, I feel like and of course I'm not an actor, but I feel like as long as you got the general gist of what the writers were trying to convey, if you ad-lib or just kind of like do your own thing, if you're still getting the message across, then let them do it. Like, that's their craft.
That's what I'm saying, because it's him, but a lot of writers will get pissed.
Like Joe Pesci in Home Alone, with all the times he was getting beat up, he was improvising and just making up grumbling sayings the whole time. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I always think about musicians and how, like, so I played cello for a number of years and I could barely play it completely sober. Like, I can't imagine being
You're
like a musician.
Peter Griffin with the piano.
Like, how can you play all those people be so like drinking alcohol on stage and making it sound okay? I don't get it. They must be so talented because I would be this a hot mess.
Why do you think the Who smashed all their instruments in the early years? Because they were on drugs.
Yeah, but think about all those 80s.
Able to play them before they smashed them.
But like impressive. All those 80s hair bands, they were all fucked up when they used to play.
All fucked up. Yeah, and they're playing like, you know?
And it was a fact that during solos or instrumental breaks, Roger Daltrey from The Who would go backstage into the dressing room and be flushing every other member of the band's drugs down the toilet.
Oh.
And they kicked him out of the band for 3 weeks. They kicked him out of the band for 3 weeks.
Yeah, get around their drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so drunken JR calls his ex. Never a good idea, JR. But luckily she's not home.
Mrs. Chambers answers the phone.
Oh, yeah. Her new nurse. This one's all fancy now.
Mrs. Chambers.
So then we come back to Bobby in the office, and because they're trying to find JR and he's slipped out. Did you catch those guys' names who were in the office?
They didn't give names. Just Mr. Hutton in the reception area.
Okay. They're supposed to sign papers for a huge deal, and they can't find JR, and they're like, well, can't we just sign him without him? And Bobby's like, we can't because he's the president. I wish we could, but I literally don't have the power to do it. And I want to say this is a little heartless when they say, because he's taking our dad's death really, really hard. They're like, yeah, but it's been 2 weeks. Life goes on. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, that was a little bad taste.
Don't say that out loud.
Yeah.
But
yeah, don't say it out loud. Jeez.
Rude.
How rude. Thank you, Stephanie Tanner.
And then the situation's just super stressed, and because they're trying to peer pressure Bobby into making something happen. He can't do it even though he wants to. And then Harv calls and he's like, hey, can I have a meeting? And Bobby's just like,
come to the house tomorrow.
Yeah.
Very stressful time at Ewing Oil, I must say.
Very stressful. And then we cut to Sue Ellen arriving home with her, I've never seen this from before, right? Dee Dee?
The superficial Dee Dee.
These are some fancy as fuck ladies. They're coming in with their mink coats and they're 17 bags from a day of shopping.
It's nice to see her getting out and doing stuff, but then when Dee Dee goes to leave and then pokes her head back in the door and is like, you're coming to dinner, right? I've got the most divine man I want you to meet. It's like, okay. Forced companionship. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
I like one that Sue Ellen has a lady friend. Mm-hmm. That is so nice. I'm glad finally has a lady friend.
And it's not one of those.
It seems like she generally enjoys her.
It's not one of those fake DOA ladies that they have the.
Exactly. It's someone she actually likes. Yeah. But yeah. And Dee Dee's like, you have to come over for dinner because there's a guy. And someone's like, okay.
And then it's raining and Bobby pulls into South Fork.
And that's Pam and Lucy are in the kitchen and they're kind of like, is it normal that Ellie isn't really crying over Jock's death?
I think she's in shock.
She's still in shock. I mean,
yeah.
And
her
denial.
Her choice of words when referring to Jock in this episode should be taken note of too.
Yes. His absence.
I also find it really strange how Pam is suddenly the resident psychiatrist.
Well, she had all the time in therapy.
So. She had so much time.
She was instantly cured. Everything's. She's fine. She's fine. I'm fine. Nothing here to see here. And Lucy's talking to her.
It bothers me so much.
Oh well. Pam's like, oh yeah. Well, it's really how many episodes ago were you like Sarah says in the nut house
right.
You were on the edge of the roof of the building, ready to jump.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yikes.
Get in there.
Yeah.
And we should mention there are cards all over the table from
sympathy cards, for Jock. And Ellie doesn't want to see him.
And Lucy was like, I didn't know that Granddaddy had so many friends. I'm like, it's not always friends that send you cards in those situations. It's business acquaintances. It's neighbors, just people. Like sympathy cards are a thing. And sometimes I swear it's just like a gesture to be like, oh, you finally died. Like,
Jesus.
It's like seriously, no. You ever notice all the people that show up to like a relative's funeral that you just like didn't think would ever have that kind of turnout? And you're like, okay, how many of you guys are actually like here to see if she's really dead? Like,
there was to make sure.
Like, is this bitch dead? Okay.
So my family still does the thing where when someone dies, they take pictures of the dead body.
What?
It's a thing.
Do they have a death book? Or
I found the dead pictures. This is my family. It's the reason I'm sort of goth is because my family is super like that.
Like, that was a thing.
When you're done, I want to ask you a question about this. Don't forget.
That was a thing, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
So, have you ever seen the movie The Others?
Mostly Victorian times. Yeah.
Watch it.
Is that why there was a picture of Elvis in his coffin?
Yeah. People told because mostly in Victorian times, it was the one time you could get a picture of your loved one because they're dead. So you would take a picture of like the family with the dead body.
It was like the Book of the Dead or something like that.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Still took pictures of dead people. So when my grandpa died, my mom's dad, who was questionable, my dad was in charge of taking pictures, and my dad was like, he had it covered. He had like 37 angles. Like all the things. And my mom was like, wow, in the car, I was 9 years old in the back seat driving home from the funeral home. And my mom was like, wow, you took a lot of pictures. And he said, yeah, I want to make sure the bastard's dead.
That's what my dad would have said.
But have you, Josh, you've never seen like a Book of the Dead? There's a couple of different ways they used to do it. They'd like take pictures of dead people, like, you know how there'd be multiples, like they'd line them up or kind of, and they'd be obviously dead, but then there's other instances where they'd prop them up, open their eyes, and make them look like they were,
or paint eyeballs on top of their eyelids so it looks like their eyes are open.
Their mouth shut. I mean, just like,
it's called postmortem photography. I'm a part of some Facebook groups.
It reminds
some
me.
Of them you can totally tell which ones are dead. It's so fucking creepy.
It reminds me of The Great Outdoors when they went to the lodge to eat, and John Candy had the kids gather around the guy that was having the old guy that was having the birthday, and the son comes over and goes, "Yeah, you don't want to get too close to him. He died on the way over here, and we didn't want to cancel the party, so they just propped him up." And John Candy's like, "Oh, kids, that's disgusting. Go wash."
What's that other movie?
Do you guys remember the episode of was it Desperate Housewives where Larry was on there and he died in the middle of dinner or some shit like that?
Did he like die on the couch or something?
He died like he was at their house or something, and it was,
and he like died.
I can't remember. Really I remember him being on there.
Mm-hmm.
He had some weird roles later on there.
Because Tom and Lynette had to figure out how they were going to get him out of the house.
Like his nip tuck role?
Yes, nip tuck role was messed up. Yeah.
Which makes 2 degrees of separation from Dallas to Family Guy, because other than Victoria Principal and Patrick Duffy, but his wife on Nip Tuck is the voice of Cleveland's wife on Family Guy.
Oh, really? Interesting. Mm-hmm.
So back to the kitchen.
Okay, where were we?
Back to the kitchen and the cards and the...
Yeah. So Ellie's done with the sympathy cards. And she's just like, hey, can we just move these out of the way so that we can eat in the kitchen? Which has never been done before on the show.
Yeah, she's just getting pissed off.
Yeah.
The only time I remember anyone eating anything in the kitchen up to this point was when Bobby and Gary were in the old kitchen in like episode 6 or 5 or 6 or 7. Yeah.
Or like middle of the night snacking. When episode 3, when Bobby is playing with Charlie's doll in the kitchen in the middle of the night, something like that, you know?
Oh, yes.
But not a full meal. Full meals are done in the dining room.
That's right.
I've never seen him in the kitchen. Like a meal.
And Ellie does comment on Pam and the baby and this stuff.
The baby, yeah.
She's just talking about anything and everything except what's the white elephant in the room or the dark elephant in the room.
Denial.
Denial.
We'll just keep saying that every time. Denial.
So we come to JR is sleeping at Serena's.
He's in bad shape.
And she wakes him up because it's after 2, and she thinks he needs to go home, but
he's like, I don't have anybody to go home to.
I got no home, no wife, no daddy, no kid.
It's a JR pity party.
And then he pulls the blanket back over and goes back to sleep.
She's just like, okay then. I hope she made him pay extra.
I know.
I hope so. I mean, she
I hope so.
That's time that she could have had other clients.
That is her time. Yeah.
Right. And he's monopolizing her time, so he needs to really pay for her time. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly. So we got to Bobby the next morning pulling up to work in his good spot. Drink. And Bobby wants to have words with JR, but JR's hungover as fuck. So
I love when they make him like that.
Yeah.
Should I buzz him? Don't bother.
Yeah. And he's literally like, plop, plop, fizz, fizz.
Oh, what a relief it isn't.
What are those? The
Alka-Seltzer.
So he's just like, oh, you want me to sign papers? Cool. Signs it without even looking at it.
Stumbles out of the office.
It's like, Bobby, you could really use this to your advantage. Like, how many times has he done that to you?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, here, JR, just like sign the company over to me, right? Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the ticket.
Yeah.
He never would have been the wiser.
Yeah, Bobby's too good.
Yeah.
This establishing shot of South Fork is kind of weird. The sun is kind of like on part of it. Almost looks fake.
Could be.
Maybe it was.
That's just my observation.
I don't know.
And they've used it before. They used it in the, I think it was the episode where JR met Dusty at Cowboy Stadium.
Oh. Okay.
Cowboy Stadium.
The Cotton Bowl.
So Harv shows up for his meeting at the ranch, and he shows up early because he's like, hey, Ellie, we need to talk.
Is she trying to make soup or something in a big pot? Was she cutting vegetables?
It looked like she was making a salad. That's what I thought, like a big old salad.
Oh,
but this was bad judgment on Harv's part. He shouldn't have.
It was. He was trying to do the right thing, I think.
He was, but her state of mind, like, you know, and they don't think of these things, but men don't think of these things. Sorry. Like, I would have maybe called like Bobby and been like, how's your mother doing? Is she in any shape to talk? Like,
exactly.
Can I go see her before you guys get home?
Ellie Southworth Ewing has a reputation for being a hard ass.
She's resilient. So, okay. So
resilient.
So he thought she'd be fine.
So he was like, she can handle it.
She uses a horsewhip. She keeps a shotgun in the hall closet.
He's underestimating how she's going to react to this, which you never know until it happens to you how grief is going to hit you. So
you don't. Exactly.
Some people go on autopilot.
Yeah, for sure. And Ellie goes on denial. So he's there. Denial. He's like, hey, Ellie just offers him coffee. And he's just basically like, look, I want to talk to you before the boys are here. And we really need to not run. The company needs to not be run like how it's being run. Like that was good in the short term when Jock was gone. But if he's gone forever, we need to like institute Jock's will. And to do that, we need to declare him legally dead. And Ellie ain't hearing that.
She ain't hearing the D word.
Nope.
Nope. She will not discuss it. Thank you very much. And get the fuck out.
And you'll notice, keep your eye, a lot of these scenes with Ellie and the denial and the stuff going on related to Jock take place in the kitchen.
They do. That's a good point. The kitchen, which is kind of the heart of the house, if you will.
Right.
That's exactly right.
That's what David Jacobs intended on Knots Landing. A lot of scenes took place in the kitchens.
Oh, really?
Because that's the center of cul-de-sac life, is kitchens and barbecues. And
well, when you think about it, like if you have a party, whenever we have a party, everyone ends up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Just hanging out in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's always how it's here.
For whatever reason.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember when we had, after my brother had passed, I remember going into the kitchen. visitation after someone dies is always weird because it's people from different facets of your life that shouldn't know each other, and they're in this. And being a video person,
it is odd.
You're looking at it like
it is.
You're getting this cast of characters that are in the same scene that shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be.
Like I walked in the kitchen
sure.
and one of my coworkers that ran a TV studio on the other side of the state was in the kitchen with my sister who lives in Colorado, and they were trying to figure out how to open this bottle of wine that was stuck. And I'm walking in and going, what is this?
Like, what?
Why do you two know each other?
Yeah, you're like,
I get that.
And of course, being in production stuff and analyzing these things, you're always looking at these things like movies and scenes and casts. And she does. But she does invite him to stay for dinner, and he's
just kind of like, okay.
I'm sorry. And she's like, well, I'll make your apologies to the boys and tell them that you were here.
Yeah. And that's one of those, like, don't fuck with Ellie Ewing. And the moment.
There's a lot of drinking in this episode, including Raymond Krebs.
Yeah. So Ray's drinking and feeling sorry for himself again because Donna is out autographing her book at like an autograph party, being this successful, amazing person that she is.
He needs to get over himself.
He needs to totally get over himself. I just, one of our listeners asked me to like give Ray a break, and I'm trying, but fuck, dude. Like, he needs to get his shit together.
I'm not giving him a break until he stops being a fucking puss about asking his wife for things. They are married. They are joint. They are together. They're 50-50. Right. And I'm not going to give you a fucking pass for being a crybaby either. Sorry.
And when Donna's like, what's wrong? I'm like, girl, you know what's wrong. It's what has been wrong for weeks, even before Jock died. Like, he had his head on for a minute to go find him. But then when he got home,
sad sack.
Sad sack. Downward spiral again.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully their marriage lasts, unlike Tom Brady and Giselle.
Mm-hmm. They were married 13 years, dude.
And they...
Pretty good run.
Yeah. And the divorce lawyers have been called as of today.
Cool.
Shit happens.
So Donna gets home, and then Ray's just drunk and being stupid and belligerent, and then he tells her that her publisher called and her book is number 5 and rising, and he's just kind of like being a dick about it. And then so he's been waiting, and so she's apologizing that she's late, whatever, and then it's obviously like he's been waiting for her to come home so they can hang out. So she's home. And then as soon as she gets home, he fucking leaves. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with the boys.
Yeah, we'll get something to eat in Braddock.
Okay, so he basically like waited all that time getting pissed. Also, he's pretty drunk already, and he's going to drive away? Okay.
It's not like he could call an Uber back then.
True. But he's basically waiting so he can walk out on her.
Yes.
And just like, that's a dick move.
Right.
All around.
Yeah, no, Ray doesn't get any breaks right now. Sorry about it.
No, yeah.
No.
Not until he proves himself worthy of it, and he hasn't yet.
He's making one bad decision after another.
What? Do I hear a bell for Ray Krebs?
Oh, yes, you do.
This next scene is the most tedious, superficial dinner party I have. Everybody is so like...
I hate everyone at that party. Except
I said this party is trash.
Yes.
Totally
this
trash.
party sucks. This party sucks.
This
party blues.
Trash party. Trash bell for the trash party.
They're all fake, and it almost reminds me of a middle school dance where the boys were on one side of the room and the girls were on the other side, and there's a punch bowl in the middle.
You're right, yeah.
Every single exchange, every single fucking conversation at that party was, I'm going to say it right this time, cliche, campy, and stupid.
Yeah.
Like, the women are like, oh, like, did you see her new lover? Oh, like,
I love her.
she's older and he's younger, and like he's sleeping with her and she's sleeping with him, and Sue Ellen's sitting there like weird, and the guys are just like being strange.
And then
talking about like cheating on their wives with their secretary, and they're like, yeah, nudging each other, and like, ugh.
And then
okay.
the women are like, oh well, did you see that new guy? Like, I don't know what they say, the new pool boy, something like that. They were talking
like that. Yeah,
I don't know. And then all of a sudden, here comes like a knock on the door, and there's Tom. Like he's stereotypical Tom.
Tom Flintoff.
Nice guy, Tom.
Tom Flintoff.
I'm going to call him Nice Guy Tom. TM.
Nice guy, Tom.
Nice guy. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Oh, he is the nice guy, the quintessential nice guy.
The nice guy who's good looking, and Sewell looks at him like, okay, I'm not interested. Okay,
Mr. Flintoff. Yeah, let's leave that party. I feel like I need to wash after that party. It's just like, yuck.
Yep.
Speaking of washing, here comes Bonnie Robertson. Ugh.
Yeah, she runs into Ray at the Longhorn.
I didn't know
he was talking about.
I didn't know
they used to date.
I'm getting the feeling that they got used to
or
date.
at least hook up, because he was like, I got married, and she's like, I heard.
Yeah, that's totally the vibe I'm getting.
I don't see her as one of the boys. Who are these boys that he's having dinner with?
He does say he's having dinner with the boys, but I think that was a cover because he's just leaving because he wanted to walk out on Donna.
He wanted to go to the bar.
Right. Because he wanted to drink where he wouldn't
power move.
Where he wouldn't get nagged by somebody at home.
Nagged? I don't think
Donna doesn't nag.
She was not nagging him at all.
Well, he
wanted the power move of walking out on her because he has issues.
But she wasn't nagging at all. No.
But this is,
you haven't seen nagging.
But this is Ray. He could interpret her as nagging.
Could, but he'd be wrong.
Donna's not going to do anything right in his eyes right now.
Has he been right? Has he been right about anything up to now?
No, not once.
My point exactly. Then he would think she was nagging him.
He can think that all he wants. So he's fucking stupid.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, I'm getting the feeling that he and Bonnie used to hook up. And so he's like, hey, FYI, I got married. She's like, yeah, I know. I've been following your wife in the papers.
That's like me, like, keeping my guy's ex on my radar.
Stalking their social media in 2022.
I'm not stalking her, but she's got some serious issues, and I need to keep keep the crazies close, because you never know if they're going to fucking explode. But for Bonnie to do that, it's like Bonnie is doing it in reverse, because I don't know, like, to keep tabs on your hookup's wife for what?
I think that maybe it's hard to avoid, though, because she's been in the paper a lot. She has a really big book. Maybe it's hard to avoid seeing their names in the paper, right?
It's so funny, though, because, okay, they used to hook up, and it seems like a casual thing, but Bonnie seems maybe a little more, like she was a little more invested than Ray was.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, she was a little more into him than he was into her.
Yeah, you're a good time, you're a good girl, but...
To him, she was just another, like, notch on the bedpost and that sort of thing, and just move on.
Just like a Saturday night
special
fun time, right? And she was... Sure. Okay.
Not necessarily. Like, two consenting adults can have a ton of fun hooking it up, but then when one of them gets feelings...
it can be a thing.
Yeah.
Feelings. Nothing more than feelings.
Yeah. And I feel like she caught some feelings, and she's trying to be cool about it. That's what I'm getting.
And he says, we'll just have one for the road. One
right.
drink? 1 dozen drinks?
Yeah. Left to interpretation.
1 entire evening of drinking?
So we got to Cliff's apartment, where it's obvious that there's some post-coital action right now. As
wearing a bathrobe and getting milk out of the refrigerator.
Post-coital.
You did.
It's Cliff and Afton, and she's like getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like she's doing the thing. She's like, "All right, we've done our thing. I'm going," and he's basically turned around and looking at her, almost like, "What? You're not going to stay and cuddle with me?" Kind of. And it's like, she's like, no.
No, I'm going home. It just isn't happening tonight, and I'm going to be at my place.
Well, it already happened.
He says he has problems at work, and she leaves, but his problems are not problems at work. He calls Sue Ellen on the phone. And she's just come in, and she's come back from dinner, and they're talking on the phone, and her doorbell rings, and it's nice guy Tom, who now becomes creepy Tom, because Sue Ellen wanted to go home alone, and he followed her to her house, which is kind of disturbing.
Right. After she had said she made it clear she wanted to go home alone. And
right. She wanted to Macaulay Culkin. She wanted to go home alone. Yeah.
And then he calls bullshit on that, and he's like, yeah, we both know that's what you said just in front of your friends. And she's like,
he's like, no, a minute, you sack of shit.
No.
And then she throws him out, and he goes, you've been divorced a month. I give you another month, and you're going to be coming for me. He
literally tries to attack her. I felt really gross about this, because that could have easily turned into just Sue Ellen just being attacked.
Right.
I didn't want her to hang up on Cliff, because I wanted her to go, Cliff, call 911 or whatever. Help me. There's a creeper in my house.
You got to have a lot of fucking nuts balls to come over to somebody's house and be like, you want me. Fuck you. Really?
Fuck you. And it's you're going to be calling in a month. And it's she has another guy on the phone right now. She doesn't fucking
ring the bell. Ring the bell. Fucking Tom.
Can we give Tom the bell and the horn? And the horn?
Yeah.
You rape dick.
Nice guy, Tom. Melanie's right. He's totally the guy who will be like, what? I'm just a nice guy. Why doesn't anyone want to date me?
That's exactly why, you creepy fucker.
Fuck you.
Lesson to be learned.
Yeah, and I'm looking this actor up. His name is Peter Brown.
What a common name. Peter Brown. Sounds like a children's book.
Born October 5th, 1935. Died March 21st, 2016.
1925?
Peter Brown.
1935.
35. Still, he's a little bit older than I thought he was.
Is he on?
Well, no, this was 1982, so he was in his early 40s.
I don't see him.
Oh, God. Tom is stupid. Here's a Tom is stupid situation. So we were at my son's football game this past Friday night, and they wished the class of 92 a happy 30th class reunion.
Okay, I thought that's what I saw on your thing, but...
So my husband and I decided we didn't care how math works. That was just rude.
Yeah, okay, if it's 92...
No, it is 30, but I don't care how math works. That's stupid. That should not be 30 years. Sorry, that should be 10 years. So, whatever.
So Peter Brown was actually a character actor. He actually was on... played Dr. Greg Peters on Days of Our Lives in 669 episodes.
He looked like somebody. That's probably where I know him from, though.
Dr. Greg Peters.
Yes, Greg Peters from 1971 to 1980. And then he had guest spots on Dukes of Hazzard, Fantasy Island, Dallas, Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, Magnum P.I. Heart to Heart, T.J. Hooker. A lot of the shows that were big at the time. Fall Guy, Riptide, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So that is our creeper, Peter Brown.
Yeah, I'm going to look him up.
Now, Bobby doesn't like what's about to happen here. Dr. McWright's office is calling about they're looking for Christopher's medical records.
Uh-oh.
And he lies and says he has them.
Oh, yeah, they're right here. Oops, sorry about that.
Where are you going to come up with medical records, Bobby? You going to friggin' forge them, for God's sakes?
He's just pulling shit out of his ass.
He's like that.
The visual.
You've already bought a child. Now you're going to try to forge documents.
Yeah, and this is not Bobby's lane. He's not comfortable with any of this. He's terrible at lying. He's terrible at it. He shouldn't be doing any of this.
It's like the bad magician, like Professor Hinkle in the Frosty the Snowman cartoon, and they're pulling everything out of the hat except the rabbit, and they can't find the rabbit. And he's like, I'll pull this out. Yeah, oh, no, wait. And it's fail. It's failure.
Yep.
Okay, Bobby. Let's see how you're going to deal with this.
All right.
So
then he cuts to him like talking to his buddy
Eric the attorney.
Eric the attorney, who's like, so you're asking me to falsify documents? And Bobby's like, no, I'm not asking you to do that at all. And it's like, narrator, Bobby is asking him to falsify documents.
You dumb idiot.
So what names would be on the medical records and the birth certificate if the child is adopted?
And Eric's like, I'm not giving you any information for your quote unquote friend to do shady shit. I'm not telling you this. And Bobby's like, but say, just for example, you were.
For example, you can kiss my ass because I'm not telling you this. But the birth
but then he does.
The birth parents' first names.
Just the first names. Which actually I don't think that's how that would be, because if you adopt a child, they give you a new birth certificate in your names.
Right.
So that says that you birthed the child, which is weird.
Who does that?
We know how.
That's what they do. They give you a new birth certificate that says that basically you birthed that child.
In every state they do that?
Even if you didn't, you adopted them. I believe so.
But I learned this through tracking down my original birth certificate in Ohio when they were unsealed in 2015. Now it becomes very easy in that state. If you were adopted, you just send the state
original,
and you get the original, and it has like Baby Smith on the thing. And
that's my mom just got hers. My mom's 83, and a couple months ago she got her original birth certificate with her biological parents' names on it, and that is a big deal.
I have to pull mine out again. Oh no, wait. It had my birth mother, but it did not have a father. But the father we found out through 23andMe. But 23andMe has become this pain in the ass because they send you these emails every week going, you have new relatives. And it's like fifth and sixth cousins.
Like your third to fifth cousin. Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't care about that. Just go away. I don't want to know it I don't care about those people.
Yeah. Only if they're close cousins, it really matters.
Right.
But, first and second. How I found my mom's half sister.
I want to find somebody I didn't know I had.
So what is Bobby going to do with this information? I wonder. Mitch and Lucy have a scene together today in a restaurant with a lot of plants.
Yeah.
There are a lot of plants.
And basically, he's giving her advice on how to move past grief, which is a really nice thing. I kind of like their relationship right now.
Right. And she says they even get along better than when they were together.
Yeah. Which I wasn't sure about the relationship, if they were together, they were trying to be together or if they weren't. But I guess this answers that question, that they're not really, they're still close, but they're not together.
Right. They're, see where it goes.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
See where it goes. And then she's like, so basically his advice is you got to find something to live for that's beyond this, something that's bigger, something that fulfills you. Say maybe a job.
No, he tells her to get a real job. And it's it was almost unknowingly a backhanded slap at her modeling career.
It was kind of, I don't think he meant it that way.
That's why it says it was an unknowing backhanded, because he didn't know it wasn't intentional, but.
Right.
And watching it, I was just like, ooh, God, he just shot down her entire career.
Whoops.
Right. But I do think it's no matter what it is, it's good to have something that you are doing that you feel important and you're doing something worthwhile.
Right.
So,
and after his father died.
Whether that's modeling or whatever.
Yeah, and after his father died, he threw himself into his studies, which gave him direction and purpose.
Which makes a lot of sense on why he was so intense about it. Maybe it was still the reaction from the grief that was pushing him.
That could be. I mean, we don't know off camera how far back their father died.
How long ago that was. Yeah. Okay, so then we cut to JR stumbling into the kitchen late in the morning.
Thank you for using that word.
And Miss Ellie is just aghast that he's not at work yet. She's just what are you still doing here? What?
And
but he's still drunk.
Shape.
I think he's still like. I don't even think he's hungover.
Yeah, I think
still
it continues from one to the other day.
I think this is going to continue for the foreseeable future, the way he's going.
Yeah, he's this. I'm just calling this hot mess JR, because it's hot mess JR when he has stubble. He has stubble, hot mess JR.
Yes, and he's Pam and Ellie are with Christopher, and Ellie tells him JR to go to work, and she refers to Jock as gone but not dead. Like when your daddy left, and you got to run the company, and things are in place while your daddy is away, and it's like, what's that word again? Denial. So then JR calls Sue Ellen, and there's no answer because he sees
calling his ex again, drunk calling his ex again.
Right,
bad idea.
But before he left the kitchen, he was
Trust me.
He was looking at Ellie and Pam with Christopher, and it's like he's just like, oh, I got a kid somewhere. I got to go find him. Get my kid.
He's missing
back.
his son.
Yeah.
And then Bobby he's walking into work as Sly and Phyllis are leaving for lunch, and it's really awkward.
Yeah. Is the office empty? Oh, good. I can do what I'm about to do.
He's so obviously up to bad news, and they're like, oh, hey, did you want us to, stay long? He's like, no. Oh, no, you guys go out. That's fine. It's fine. He's so bad at it. This is not his lane.
It's like the kid coming home to sneak alcohol from high school or something, waiting until the family's gone, or sneak weed or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
As Officer Barbrady would say, nothing to see here. Everybody move along. Go back to your homes. Nothing to see here.
Okay, so then let's talk about this. So Bobby goes in, office by himself. He takes White out.
Thank you to Michael Nesmith's mother for the invention.
He just literally whites out Kristen's name and then doesn't even wait for it to dry, I might add. Blows on it once. That shit takes a while to dry.
It'll be dent in and crusty and...
Yeah, it's just, yeah. And then he types over it on the typewriter, which I'm impressed he actually knows how to use a typewriter.
Yeah.
Jane. Okay.
So
I'm hoping that he at least takes that and makes a copy of it to give to the pediatrician, because otherwise this is totally obvious as fuck that you just falsified that. If you make a copy, if you a mimeograph, whatever, that'll be at least one more generation, so it won't be so obvious.
Maybe copy it twice, maybe.
We don't see what he typed for last name. I really hope to hell he did not type Doe.
He probably did because he's an idiot. Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Doe or Smith.
Who knows? Or Roe. Who knows? Ugh.
Oh, Bobby. Bobby is more like Booby in this scene. He's being a boob.
He's many things. He's a PI. He's a psychologist. He's all the things. He's not a really good criminal.
He got Lucy off the drugs really quickly. He rescued her from
Give me those.
From Willie.
You're healed.
Not really good at
Miraculously.
That's right.
Miraculously healed.
So then we cut to Don and Ray. Punk stops over.
Punk Anderson. He is one with the fashion, isn't he?
He is. He's really good with the fashion. He's a stylish motherfucker, honestly.
Stylish motherfucker.
Stylish mofo.
Stylish motherfucker.
He's got a new deal for Ray to work on.
He's so excited.
He's bouncing off the walls.
He's like, where's Ray? I want to talk to him. And she's like, yeah, he's still sleeping.
He was wasted as well.
Why don't you bring it to the real Ewings? The Ewings.
Yeah, he stumbles out, still drunk.
Half-button shirt, open, disheveled.
Yeah, And just pity party Ray. I don't know how to do nothing. And so then Punk's like trying to make him feel better because he's like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, yeah, you made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Like literally, I've made mistakes. That's how you learn and get better. It's not a big deal. Like you just move on to the next deal.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
And Ray's just like, not me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
I'm just a dumb cowboy.
That's funny.
That's what I should do sometime. I got to get the picture of Sarah sometime with the horn. Not right now. Not right now. And you can hold up the bell and sit there going like.
It has a smiley face on it.
Woohoo!
So then Harv, who's been trying to talk to Bobby for, I feel like, days, finally gets to talk to Bobby.
So was the theme of the I just have to ask this question. Was the theme for the wardrobe department in this episode disheveled? Lots of disheveledness.
Yeah.
JR and Ray.
Everyone's a hot mess. Yeah, no one's doing good after the death of Jock. Everyone's just fucked. Except Bobby seems okay. Bobby actually seems all right for once.
The Jock.
Bobby, and then Pam's fine.
Which is fucking crazy as fuck.
She has a baby. She's a baby. She's fine. And Bobby's cool, but everybody else is.
Isn't that weird? She's a crazy when she's fine. Bobby's been lying and not being himself the entire episode. He's fine.
That's true.
Crazy.
That's true. Yep. Okay.
Crazy. Got to go crazy.
So Harv finally gets to talk to Bobby, and so he's like trying to reason with Bobby. Like, look, it's the same spiel he gave to Ellie. Like, look, we need for the business because this isn't a mom and pop shop. Like, this is Ewing Oil's a big deal now. We need to not do what we're doing. We need to like institute Jock's will. We need to declare, and to do that, we need to declare him dead because we don't have a body. So, yeah,
right. Which is smart, though. Even though you don't want to hear it, it's still smart.
Crazy as a fox in a hen house. That's the saying I was looking for.
That's old Southern saying.
Yep.
That's right.
That is.
Yep.
And into the middle of this discussion stumbles in Hot Mess JR.
Disheveled. Stubbly and drunk.
Disheveled. And he's just like, maybe this is the break you've been looking for, Bob. Maybe Daddy left you the whole shooting match.
Good luck getting Mama to go. Good luck with getting Mama to go along with that. Out the door, boom.
And he literally drunkenly laughs and stumbles out of the room
again. Or in or out.
Hackman must have had fun playing this part right here.
It must have been, yeah. It must have been really fun.
Oh, I can imagine the outtakes.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. So Bobby just is like, shit. So that's where we leave that. And then we cut to Cliff at work getting a call about his well. And then he gets a reservation for the Cattlemen's Club. We
presume it's Ewing 6 now, Barnes Wentworth 1, but they don't say it in this conversation.
They don't say it, but, we can probably assume.
Is that the only well they have, though?
I think it is. Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah.
He doesn't say goodbye to the guy on the phone. He just hangs up the phone. How rude. Learn some phone manners.
People do that a lot. Yeah, it's pretty rude. Yeah.
And that intercom to the receptionist outside looks so friggin' like ancient.
I mean, it's 1982, 40 years ago.
True.
Yeah. Now, this scene coming up gives me a little bit of a Twin Peaks vibe for a moment.
A Twin Peaks vibe?
Yes.
In what sense?
Well, Lucy is wearing a blue rose, and Roger is going to set up a meeting with Blair Sullivan, played by Ray Wise.
I was like, why does that name Blair Sullivan sound familiar? Oh, I'm so excited. And I did not notice the blue rose, so you get extra points.
Dun, dun, dun.
Long before David Lynch thought of the blue rose and Twin Peaks.
Long before. 7 years before.
Yes. So I
wow, that's
duly
exciting.
picked up on that.
I didn't. I'm ashamed of myself.
And I'm surprised that you didn't. I mean, I did not, obviously, but for you to not pick up on it.
I didn't because I did not pick up on the blue rose. And I forgot. I knew that the name Blair Sullivan was ringing a bell, but it's been a number of years since I watched the whole series.
Yeah.
So.
And he will make his debut
I'm
next
excited
week.
because Ray Wise is amazing.
He'll make his debut next week. He was also on the Colbys and Knots Landing as well.
He's been on so many things. He plays he played the devil in a show called Reaper, and he is like the best devil in the world.
He also played
he's super creepy.
He also played the vice president on 24 at one point. And he played Spiros Corrales.
I've met him. He's really nice.
Spiros Corrales on the Colbys, the dealer on Knots Landing, and Judge Jim Stinson on Second Chances. Oh, and Edward Burton on Savannah. So he has a nighttime soap pedigree here.
Yeah, he's been so busy. Yeah, I'll have to post the picture next week of when I met him.
Oh, please do. We'll talk more about him next week, though. Back to Lucy in her blue rose.
Back to Lucy in her blue rose. And she's looking at the pictures in Roger's studio. She's really impressed by his photography. She's like, wow, you're really talented. And, this is like, she's kind of jealous that he has a talent like that. And I'm like, Lucy, you could pick up a camera and take pictures. You could do it. You should try.
But she wants a good working relationship with her photographer. And she thinks that they have she's met him twice now. And she thinks they have a good relationship.
I mean, a lot of times you can get a vibe from someone. You can, not always accurate, but you can get a vibe that you might work well with someone.
As Freddie Mercury is just saying, you don't want to rush headlong into this.
You don't.
No.
But they make plans for her to model for him. So
that sounds creepy.
Right,
she seems really excited.
And he's going to set up a meeting with Blair Sullivan. I'm going to model for you.
Yeah. Then we cut to Cattleman's Club, where Cliff buys JR a drink of bourbon.
Because he's still day drinking.
Because he's still day drinking. Yeah. And he just brings it over, puts it on his table, and he thanks him for using 6 because it was supposedly a dry hole, but it's producing pretty well right now.
And what does JR do?
A dry hole. Sorry, I can't help it.
Dry hole.
Yeah, he just picks up the drink and just pours it into another glass. He's just like, I'm getting out of here.
And then he stumbles out the door too.
Just stumbles past Cliff.
They have to cut. They have to cut to the lobby where he kind of stumbles a little bit before he walks off camera.
It's so
he's really drunk this whole episode, isn't he?
The entire thing.
Yeah, it's cracking me
And
up.
then this next scene, there's a lot to unpack in this scene. Sue Ellen is leisurely reading her book in her condo/apartment situation.
She seems to have gotten over Tom Flintoff quite quickly, and she's brushing it off. She's like, I'm taking time for me. I'm reading a good book. This is great. No more dinner parties with Dee Dee and her fake group.
Yeah.
Right.
And doorbell rings. She's like, okay. So she answered it, and in stumbles a crunk JR.
Oh, yeah.
This is awesome. Unpack it, Mary. Unpack it. Here we go.
Okay.
Go.
So first he says, hey, I expected you to be at South Fork when I got home. And she's like, okay, yeah, but I couldn't really do that because I didn't feel comfortable. And remember, we're not together anymore. So I wasn't really going to do that because I didn't feel comfortable.
It's over.
Oh, shit.
Right. And she's like, because it's over between us. And he's just like, it's not over. It'll never be over. Basically. And you're like,
but okay. It is.
And she's like, no. We're done, man. And then he gets belligerent and scary and a little violent.
Ooh.
Here.
So she
shuts the door.
She's had 2 men get violent with her in this episode.
2 men. She needs a fucking taser. Because
I don't know how I missed the part with Tom, but I wanted to deck that guy.
Yeah.
So
that guy.
Yeah, we said nice guy Tom became creepy Tom.
Oh God, he
creepy.
But also JR becomes even worse because JR shuts the door, gets in Sue Ellen's personal space, very threatening, using his body language to threaten her.
Talking
and then verbally threatens her too.
He says that his daddy died disappointed in him because John Ross wasn't at South Fork.
Right? What the fuck, dude?
He's got some issues.
I've been trying to impress my daddy my whole life, and like he died and like disappointed in me because I wasn't strong and didn't like you took my kid away, and it's like whoa, dude, that's
JR.
thinking.
I think Jock had other things on his mind when the helicopter was plummeting into the lake.
Yeah, like don't lose my medallion.
Right.
Couldn't hold on to that one, could you, jockey boy?
Yeah.
Who's gonna?
So many daddy issues. Like,
who's gonna be the new Jock cock?
Agreed.
You hear me?
We knew that he had issues. We knew he had daddy issues, but this is just showing like how fucking deep those daddy issues are and how fucked up they are. And like like making her. She doesn't know how to react. Like you can tell she's afraid. She's like she doesn't know what to do. She's almost in like a freeze situation, fight or freeze, because she's just standing there with like tears running down her face. And he says like, "You'll never know peace on this God's green earth until I get my son back." And she's just like, what the fuck? And goddamn, poor Sue Ellen. 2 men attacking her in the same episode.
And in the way back recesses of her mind, she probably knows that JR is grieving.
I'm sure she does, but that doesn't make it any less scary.
Right.
Because he's done shit to her before.
Right. But
he was aggressive in this, though, I guess.
She knows what he's capable of.
She knows what he's capable of. She knows he's grieving. So these things are clashing, and she's like, this is not my week. I've had 2 men attack me in less than 24 hours. Maybe she should wear a different perfume or something. I don't know. I mean,
poor Sue Ellen. Yeah, it's not her fault.
No.
It's not what she's wearing. Just saying that.
Right.
No.
So then we cut to South Fork, and Bobby's up thinking at like 3 a.m. in the dark, and like his thoughts wake up Pam, basically.
His thoughts wake up Pam.
Yeah.
He must be
He's thinking too hard. It wakes up Pam.
You're thinking too loud, Pam. I mean, Bobby. Too loud.
Maybe it's the smoke coming out of his ears from the thinking process.
Maybe. Yeah.
And
so she's like, what?
What's that smell? Oh, there's a burning smell. Bobby, are you thinking?
Yeah, Bobby, don't think too hard, baby. Don't think too hard. So he tells her, like, look, I have to talk to my mom about declaring my daddy dead, and I'd rather not, but I really need to. And then he talks to her about it. I like that they're actually talking for once. That's nice.
Isn't it weird, though, that, like, right now, like, this crisis, they're actually talking? I mean, it is.
It's not. It's like the first time in their marriage that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been married for, 4 years now?
Right. She couldn't tell him that she couldn't have a baby. She had to make this whole big thing out of it. And then he couldn't talk about
that her mom was alive all this stuff.
He couldn't talk about the stuff at work, this and that. But now that daddy's on the bottom of a lake in South America, resting in peace.
No, they're talking.
They're talking. Yeah.
That's good.
But isn't it funny how this crisis for him, she's like really there for him. But then whenever she was like, I think I found my mama, and he's like, I've got to get back to work, you fuckhead. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah.
She's totally in her craziness right now. She's actually being a good spouse and like trying to be like, are you okay? Can I help you? And he was the one that was like, I can't get you for lunch today. Gotta get back to the office.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same day she jumped out of the building. He had to go back to the office until they found her.
Right.
Anyway.
He couldn't join in the search. He had to go back to his Senate office.
Yeah, he didn't have the fucking time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't take it.
Yep. Uh-huh.
So we cut to morning.
Yep.
God, I wonder if Bobby actually got any sleep. But he did come down in those
probably very little
jeans and that shirt, and it was unbuttoned a little. And
he looks good in this scene, though. I'm just gonna say.
And that was Mary, not Sarah this time. Everybody listen, in case you haven't learned our voices yet, that was not Sarah.
I just really noticed it in the scene. I was like, all right, Bobby, maybe the worry looks good on you.
Mary's a little horny tonight.
Somebody turn the cold hose on her and just cool her down.
So So he begrudgingly comes down in the morning and he's just kind of like, ugh. You can just tell. Ellie's like, what's wrong?
He's got to talk to Mama. It's time.
Yeah.
It needs to be done.
It's time.
Is he scared? Is he scared? Or is he just like worried he's going to like upset her?
I think both. Like, I think he just doesn't. That's an awkward conversation to have and to like say out loud, like, my father is dead. Like, that's hard as it is. And like having to convince your mother.
But if you declare him dead, can you do a reversal if they're found?
I would think so. If they can prove that there's a lie. I don't know. Seems like it. I don't know.
Yeah. And as soon as she hears the word dead, she breaks down and says no.
Her face falls.
Yeah. And then her line, this is Jock's home. We're Jock's family. You're Jock's son. And she goes, I'm Jock's woman.
I love that.
And we live by the rules.
See, I was like, what in the blue fuck, Miss Ellie? You're his woman?
The blue fuck.
Sounds like a piece.
Right?
Sounds like a piece of property.
I'll be your woman.
I thought it was kind of like I don't know. I thought she said it like I'm his woman. Like it sounded kind of sexy to me. To be honest with you,
it was very like desperate, like desperation, like hanging on to the last little bit. Clinging. Yeah, the last little bit, and then this is becoming reality now.
Yeah, and she does not want to give it up, and so
we will live by the rules that he created for this family, and he's alive. She says,
"You can have him alive in spirit
as long as I believe he's alive."
Yeah.
And it's sad. And
it is. It's sad.
You feel so bad for her, but also this scene with Queen Barbara Bel Geddes is just magic.
Yeah,
her soliloquy is just off the hook. It's amazing.
And it's another.
I'll bow down.
It's another discussion about Jock being dead taking place in the kitchen.
And we freeze frame Ellie crying. And we have to drink twice because the freeze frame is not JR.
And really, we got to drink 3 times because that was like a Miss Ellie talk. What is it called? Emoting.
She was emoting. It was with words, but fuck, it was amazing. So drink
there
it.
You go.
And scene.
So I'm going to give this 4.25 bourbons and a taser for Sue Ellen.
Taser.
Girl needs one.
I'm going to give this a 4.0. And I am going to, it was a toss up, but I think I'm going to give Ray a fucking box of Kleenex to stop being a fucking baby. And he can keep those the rest of the fucking season. Get him a carton at Costco.
Very interesting. This episode had its moments, Ellie's soliloquy at the end and JR stumbling through the whole episode. But it seemed as disheveled as JR was. It just seemed a little weird
all over the place.
All over the place. So I will go 4 and I will an electric razor so JR can shave that stubble.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm going to give this a 4.0 as well, and JR needs, like, all the liquid IV.
Yes. Drip drop.
So true.
Drip drop.
And really quick,
Yeah.
Opie has to tell what he thinks. Opie, what did you think about this season? Tell him.
Liquid IV, is that those packets of stuff?
Tell him again.
It's the powder and the electrolytes?
It's the powder. It's like Gatorade.
It's good.
Yeah. I drink it a lot. It's so good. Thank you for joining us. Join us on our Facebook group and Instagram and Twitter and our Patreon. And we will see you next week.
When we talk about episode 92, Head of the Family.
Bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
You know what Bobby was doing with the whiteout? Breaking the law.
I fought the law and the law. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Never.
Next on Dallas.
If it's such a good deal, go ahead.
I can't.
can't go ahead without you, and you know it.
Seems to be the story of your life, doesn't it?
We'll have dinner together tonight at 7. The way we used to.
Oh, Mama.
JR, I'm asking you to pull yourself together.
Come here. Now look at yourself. There's a problem with JR.
JR is having a very hard time.
If we want to keep you and oil running, I may have to step in as president.